A lot of times people make up stories on the police, all because the police is seeking to enforce the law. When all our policemen and women are fitted with body cameras, we know that nobody can make up no duppy story again.
The business of order on our roads is something that's highly topical. It's something that's spoken about probably more than any other area of police endeavor. And it impacts a wide cross-section of our community. The information I got from my ACP in charge of Eastdale, Mackenzie, was that at the moment we have over 1 million cars registered. Well, we only have so many roads and so much that can fit, and if you have enough people trying to get somewhere at the same time, you're going to have traffic build-up. The key to not creating a gridlock, though, is to obey the traffic signals, not block intersections, not stop in one lane and block one lane of a 2-lane road, or one lane of a 1-lane road, so that you can do whatever you feel you should be doing at that time. These little things impact how quickly everyone will get to where they're going, and also impact the sort of road rage and anger that comes from sitting in traffic. With that many cars in that space, you're going to have to exercise patience and be considerate in how we use the roads. So we get involved when that doesn't happen, and when there is a problem with the normal traffic signals, or to keep those intersections clear. But really, if you think about it, we send police officers to intersections where there are traffic lights and those lights are working. What really should happen is that those lights regulate the traffic. But we know humans are as they are, and so we have to get involved, and it's part of what we do.
Oftentimes we hear the talks. People say to us that, boy, you know, road traffic offenses, road traffic violations are not very serious matters in the grand scheme of things. They are quasi-criminal in nature, so our resources ought to be directed elsewhere to deal with the most serious crimes affecting our country. But I want to tell you that road traffic violations, and the Commissioner would have touched on it, these are public order matters. And it is ignoring these less serious offenses, such as breaching the road code, that leads to the ultimate breakdown of order within our society. And the trend continues. People will say that, boy, you know, the big things never just start big. It is the small things that we ignore that ultimately lead to the bigger problems we're having. Road traffic offenses are no different. Look at the plethora of things that sometimes happen on our roads. Violation of the Road Traffic Act is the primary cause of chaos on our roads. Indiscipline represents a clear and present danger to the lives of many Jamaicans while they use and traverse our roadways. Road traffic accidents is the second leading cause of death in this country, next to shooting.
We have an Act 2018, Regulations 2022. We're in 2023 now, we're about to get going. I understand that there's a lot of persons at South Camp Road at the traffic court trying to get their tickets paid before time, and hopefully after this period things will settle down and we will move forward where people are becoming more compliant with rules and regulations of the new Act.
A lot of times people make up stories on the police, all because the police is seeking to enforce the law. When all our policemen and women are fitted with body cameras, we know that nobody can make up no duppy story again, because everything that transpires is recorded and transmitted and forms part of the corroboration or the corroborating material that you as the police will put forward in the prosecution of these road traffic breaches.
Currently, not all police officers have body cameras.
We do not have enough for the full complement, but a large portion of them do have, especially when those who are interfacing with the public. And the intention is that every police officer should, as part of his outfit, be fitted with a body camera.
Over the next 2 days, there will be a lot of information that you will pay attention to the key components of it, because it's really important that as we get started on February 1, that we're au fait with what we need to be doing. Ultimately, in the early stages, we're going to have to be spending a lot of time guiding persons who we interact with on what is correct. And so it's important that we know, and also even as we deliver those tickets, it's important that we have the correct sort of interactions with the public, because it's when you ticket somebody, it's not personal. They have done a breach, and we are doing a response. That's all it is. So we have to keep it at that level. Just to say, finally, that it was a week ago, I think it was, that we got 750 additional devices to issue e-tickets. Last year we were using 70 devices, just under 70, but we didn't deploy all of them. 60 plus devices were actually deployed, and they accounted for 70,000 tickets. It makes your life as officers a lot easier, as you know, for those who have used it so far. You know, you can do a ticket in, when you get good at it, in under a minute. Which is good for the motorists too, that you don't hold them up unduly, but it's also good, it allows you to do that very quickly. And the good thing is, as soon as you issue that ticket, the person can pay it even before they leave the scene of the offense, because it goes directly, as long as they are attached to, they're connected, it goes straight to the tax office and whoever way it needs to go, all at the same time, so you can go and pay right away. So that will make everybody's life easier, and it pretty much removes the opportunity to do a spoiled ticket. You can't do that. So it will have a more accurate system, which will be better for everyone. And certainly the idea of a ticketing system, and any ticketing system, is to keep people out of court. The only things that should go to court are those things in dispute. And that's really where we want to end and be at that position.